they are spying on you already. Huge amounts of telemetry are being captured about what you do on your computer. And I think this is just taking it a step further in the very worst possible direction. I don't believe that Microsoft cares about your privacy.
Your computer is sending data to Microsoft right now. Not because you clicked anything, not because you opened an app, just because it's on. Every hour, Windows 11 phones home with packets of information about your device, your behavior, your applications, and your activity. You didn't opt into this. It was switched on before you ever touched the setup screen. And here's the detail that should make every Windows user stop cold. The German Federal Office for Information Security ran a controlled test using their own open source monitoring tool. On an unhardened Windows 11 system, telemetry data was transmitted to Microsoft servers up to 15 times per hour. 15. Not once a day during a quiet background sync. 15 times every single hour, whether you're using the computer or not. This is what Microsoft calls diagnostic data. Regulators in Europe have a different word for it. And once you understand what's actually leaving your machine, you'll understand why multiple governments have moved to ban or restrict it entirely. What telemetry actually collects, and what Microsoft won't show.
Windows is probably spying on you if you've never took it off this hidden setting. Telemetry is a built-in Windows setting that collects all of your data, spies on you, and uses it to technically improve Windows, but
Microsoft divides telemetry into two categories: required and optional. Required data, they say, is the minimum necessary to keep Windows functional. Sounds reasonable until you read what required actually includes. According to Microsoft's own official documentation, it collects device identifiers, hardware specifications, operating system version, network configuration details, system stability and error reports, update and installation records, and information about connected peripherals. That's transmitted constantly, without your consent, and it cannot be turned off on any consumer edition of Windows 11. Home, Pro, it doesn't matter. The pipeline runs regardless. Optional telemetry goes further. It includes operating system events from networking, storage, and file system components, app usage patterns showing what features you use and how, plus the advertising ID, tracking your behavior across every application, activity history, logging what apps you run and when, and Smart Screen, sending URLs to Microsoft servers for reputation checks. A comprehensive behavioral profile assembled continuously on the computer you paid for. Microsoft's own diagnostic data viewer tool was supposed to address transparency. It doesn't. The tool is so technically complex that a journalist at Computer World described it as something most programmers can't meaningfully use. It forces users to scroll through headings like Tell Client Synthetic that reveal nothing to anyone outside Microsoft engineering. The Netherlands Data Protection Authority reviewed it after requiring Microsoft to add transparency controls and concluded the tool failed to adequately inform users. Their investigation also found Microsoft was collecting non-diagnostic data beyond the categories it had publicly acknowledged, and referred the entire case to Ireland's Data Protection Committee under GDPR. Enforcement. The recall scandal that exposed the deeper problem, but
their most recent dive into testing Recall's vulnerabilities led to an update to Total Recall, the extraction tool that Alex developed to find the initial vulnerabilities back in 2024 that exposed everything being stored in an unencrypted SQLite database. Sick.
The telemetry pipeline is just the infrastructure. What Microsoft built on top of it in 2024 revealed the full philosophy. Windows Recall. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella called it photographic memory for your PC. The feature takes screenshots of your screen every few seconds, runs them through optical character recognition, and stores the content in a searchable database. Every document, every website, every message, every password field that appeared on your display, every banking page you visited, all captured, processed, and indexed. Security researcher Alexander Hagena examined the implementation in mid-2024 while the feature was in preview. He found that Recall was storing every screenshot and every word extracted via OCR in an unencrypted SQLite database inside the user's app data folder. He built a tool called Total Recall to demonstrate the severity. It automatically located the database, extracted its contents, and generated a detailed report. In one documented test, Total Recall found 22 instances of the word password within a single session's captured data. Hagen also demonstrated that other user accounts on the same device could access the database, directly contradicting Microsoft's assurance that only the affected user could see Recall data. Researcher Kevin Beaumont went further. He tested whether existing off-the-shelf InfoStealer malware could grab Recall data before Windows Defender detected it. The test succeeded. Several days of captured Recall data compressed to under 100 kilobytes, meaning it could be exfiltrated quickly and silently. Microsoft had planned to ship this as a default-on feature before the backlash forced a delay of over a year. In early 2026, Hagen updated his tool to Total Recall Reloaded. Even after Microsoft's security overhaul, including AES, 256, GCM encryption, and Windows Hello biometric authentication, a new bypass worked by injecting code into AIXBit.exe, the process handling Windows 11's AI features. The injection requires no administrator privileges, no kernel exploits, just standard user-level access. Once a user authenticates with Windows Hello, for any reason, the decrypted data becomes accessible. Hagen described it as a vault door made of titanium protecting a window left open. Microsoft's response was that this didn't constitute a security vulnerability. The security research community disagreed publicly. The keyboard surveillance nobody noticed.
Critics would say, no, it is in fact pretty damn creepy, and besides being an unacceptable privacy infraction, represents a massive honeypot of extremely personal data for anyone with malintent who gets access to your PC. To say nothing of the potential for misuse by employers, governments, or law enforcement.
While Recall grabbed headlines, a quieter feature drew attention from privacy experts at XE DA developers in early 2026. Windows 11's text prediction feature, present in the touch keyboard, sends typing samples to Microsoft's cloud servers to improve autocorrect and next word prediction. The data leaves the device for cloud processing. XDay characterized this as function creep, a feature marketed as helping you type faster that silently routes your keystrokes through Microsoft servers without user awareness or consent. The parallel to Recall is exact, a local convenience feature that depends on cloud data transmission most users don't know about. The same analysis confirmed a consistent pattern. Features are designed opt-out rather than opt-in. Settings that limit collection are buried multiple menus deep. And because Windows 11 holds approximately 67% of global desktop market share as of 2026, these are not niche concerns. They are the default data collection conditions for the majority of the world's computer users. What regulators have actually done about it? The European response has been the most concrete. The Dutch Data Protection Authority found that Windows telemetry collection violated Dutch data protection law. Microsoft was required to make changes. The DPA reviewed those changes and found Microsoft was still collecting non-diagnostic data. The case was referred to Ireland's DPC. The GDPR exposure involves potential fines, calculated as a percentage of global revenue. On Microsoft's scale, that exposure runs into billions. Bavaria's Data Protection Authority issued guidance specifically warning that Windows 11 telemetry creates GDPR compliance problems for German institutions, recommending that default Windows installations be treated as non-compliant without additional hardening. A German state government banned the use of Microsoft Office 365 over data handling concerns involving the same transmission infrastructure. Microsoft responded to European regulatory pressure by making one operational change. As of March 6, 2024, Microsoft Edge diagnostic data on Windows 11 23, H2, and newer devices in the European Economic Area is collected under separate settings from Windows telemetry. a jurisdictional carve-out specifically for regulatory compliance. The fact that Microsoft made this adjustment for European users while maintaining the same infrastructure globally for everyone else tells you exactly what the default data collection actually represents, what you can do, and what Microsoft won't let you. The critical fact is this: on Windows 11 Home and Pro editions, you cannot fully disable telemetry. Microsoft's own documentation states explicitly that required diagnostic data collection cannot be opted out of on consumer versions. You can disable optional data in Settings under Privacy and Security, Diagnostics, and Feedback. You can disable the Advertising ID under General. You can turn off activity history, location access, and microphone and camera app permissions. But the core required telemetry pipeline continues running regardless. Enterprise editions of Windows 11 can push telemetry to its lowest security level through group policy, dramatically reducing what's transmitted. Home users have no equivalent option. The people with the fewest technical resources and the least understanding of what's being collected are the ones with the least ability to stop it. That gap is documented. It is not accidental. Third-party tools exist specifically to address what Microsoft's own settings cannot. O&O Shutup 10++ applies over 100 privacy tweaks, including dedicated toggles for Copilot and recall data collection. Do Not Spy 11 and the Windows Privacy Dashboard offer similar coverage with updated profiles for Windows 1124 H2. A privacy protection tool released in January 2026 now blocks over 3,698 identified Microsoft IP addresses used for data collection and disables 121 telemetry-related system services. The existence of a commercial market for tools that block what a paid operating system does to your own hardware is the clearest possible summary of the situation. Where this ends, thus, you bought Windows 11.
The very existence of recall makes Windows a less secure platform because in the very near future, all compatible Windows 11 machines are going to have a built-in tool that gathers and catalogs an unprecedented wealth of information about Windows users and then stores it in a convenient place for attackers to target.
Or it came installed on a computer you bought. Either way, you paid. The moment that computer connected to the internet, a data collection system switched on that you cannot fully disable, transmits information about your behavior up to 15 times per hour, was found to store sensitive content in an exploitable, unencrypted database, and has triggered formal regulatory investigations across multiple European countries. Microsoft calls it telemetry. European data protection authorities have spent years arguing it exceeds that definition. Security researchers have built public tools demonstrating its vulnerabilities. And the only people who cannot fully turn it off are the ordinary home users who make up the overwhelming majority of Windows' billion device install base. That is the system running on your computer right now. The question is what you intend to do about it.